I need to go on an adventure. How do you even do that anymore, though? What adventures still exist, and what's within my reach? Mexico. Baja. Wide open. We're greeted in San Diego by two staffers from Wide Open Baja. Appropriately enough, they pick us up in a last-gen Ford Raptor. This is the right way to get down to Mexico. We're through the border with relative ease while the line of people waiting to enter the States is long and unmoving. Our Raptor driver points the nose of the rig through Tijuana and out onto the toll road that runs along the coast. Promises of coming resort towers are reminders of a developer's dashed dreams as they stand stark and empty amongst the rest of the coastal community buildings. We press on to Ensenada. This is where Baja begins, at least for the off-road adventure set. Horsepower Ranch is a 100-acre slice of heaven located 6 miles from the Pacific Ocean. It feels farther than that. I believe I'm in the middle of nowhere, but I don't need to be anywhere else right at this moment. Step into the Carrera Cantina and you'll see why this is a sort of mecca for off-roaders. The walls are adorned with some of the greats from the sport of off-road racing. Back in the 60s and 70s, it was a Hollywood elite hotspot. Then it dried up a bit in the 80s and 90s. Now it's restored to former glory, and it serves as the start point for us to become acquainted with our buggies. This is a basic machine, but it's the best kind of basic. A tube chassis wears a bit of buggy skin and houses a Subaru EJ flat 4 engine. Power is dosed out through a tough 4-speed manual gearbox, and you'll find at least 13 inches of travel at all 4 corners thanks to the dual reservoir Fox Racing shocks. Oh, and these ready-to-rock machines are already wearing BF Goodrich's latest KM3 tire. We have onboard comms to talk to each other and a radio to talk to the lead car. There's an air system to clear out the dust and a GPS unit so we know where we are. Basic compared to today's Pro 2 trophy trucks. Amazing compared to pretty much anything else you'll drive. Yeah, so that was 17 miles in so far. I basically feel like I could race Baja now, which isn't true at all. These things are awesome. You don't feel the jumps. You feel some of the bumps in the whoop section, but it's either 13 or 16 inches of travel all the way around. Big ass BFG, BF Goodrich KM3 tires that are doing excellent out here. It's real silty, it's real dry, so you gotta stay out of the dust. If you want the glory, as that movie would have you believe, and it's correct. This thing's great. The gearbox is super tight, the gearing is super short, and the EJ, the Subaru engine, just wants to rev. It's really torquey on this thing. You can leave it in 3rd gear if you just want to focus on driving, or you can kick it down to 2nd for some of the corners and just pull on through. It's a blast, and we got a lot more miles to go. Day 1 is filled with an initial period of getting used to the buggy. But it's brief, and soon we're flying over all sorts of terrain. Well, some flying and some slower speed rock crawling.
and even occasional transits on open road to reach the next section of off-road adventure that we seek. The on-road bits are few and far between, thankfully, especially because these buggies like to wander on the pavement and definitely prefer running in the desert dirt. Eventually, we make our way to Mike's Sky Ranch, which is an oasis hidden away in the hills some 90 miles away from Ensenada proper. Like Horsepower Ranch, it's another bucket list location for off-road racers. Except out here there's no cell service, power is collected from the sun, and it's basically lights out at 10 p.m. to conserve power. There is, however, a bar.
Ugh. That was a hell of a ride. I don't know how many miles it was. I mean, it probably wasn't even that many in the grand scheme of things. Maybe it was 100. Maybe. But it was awesome. It was extreme. It was a lot of different types of terrain. Those buggies are just wildly capable. I'm probably barely dipping into the capability that they have. The Subaru engine doesn't want to give up. The gearbox is solid. The brakes, it's like a hint of brakes. It's like a reminder that the vehicle has brakes, but you use them sparingly. It prefers to be on throttle, weight back, weight off the nose, so it can do what it can do with all the travel up there, and you just rock along. The scenery is beautiful. Anytime we stop and we run into people, they're wonderful and friendly, just like the staff here. It's a truly awesome experience. So, end of day one, we arrived at Mike's Sky Ranch. They greet you with a beer. They like I said, they do it right here. They give you a beer, and it's one of the best beers you've ever had, even though it's just, a familiar yellow labeled Mexican beer that we can't say because they're not advertising with us. And it's delicious, and it's perfect. It's the perfect way to end the day at Mike's Sky Ranch. This is a cool off-the-grid place to stay. Everywhere you look, there's off-road. If you like off-road, this is kind of like a mecca for North American off-road stuff, because all these stickers are from teams and companies that have been here. There's pictures of some of the most famous off-roaders. There's dollar bills and business cards all over here. If you look at some of the names, you'll be shocked. Juan Pablo Montoya's name is somewhere over there, which I know isn't necessarily off-road specific, but there's tons of awesome stuff. 4 years ago, I was here and I put a dollar bill somewhere and I can't find it, and it's killing me. I'm going to find it by the end of the night. But this is a great place to end the day. And then from here, the next morning, we're going to wake up and head back towards the beach, back towards Ensenada, Estero Beach area, and get into even more varied terrain. On the way out, it's not rock crawly specific, because these are not rock crawlers, but it's technical. It's going to be technical tomorrow, and then we get into some faster stuff. And literally, it's called Wide Open because there are many chances for you to go wide open. My favorite thing about this type of experience is that, you'll never race at Le Mans. You might do a tourist lap at the Nürburgring, but it's filled with people who are trying to set a time that no one cares about. You're not there at the actual N24 or a VLN race. You can do a lap at your favorite closed racetrack, but it's the same thing every mile and a half, 2 miles. This is like you're in the Baja 500. It's the same courses. It's the same bits of land that they run on. You're not going as fast as a Pro 2 truck, of course, but you are in the same space where they run. And then if you spend tons of money, though relatively speaking, it is not tons of money for an arrive and drive situation. Wide Open offers an arrive and drive program where I think if you want to run the Baja 500, the full race, it's $25,000, and all you do is show up and drive. They fully crew the vehicle. Tires, pit stops, fuel, all that stuff, logistics. You just got to get there, get into your racing suit, and try not to bend the metal. You can't do that in any other type of motorsport that inexpensively. It's still tons of money. I don't have $25,000 to just go do that. But relatively speaking, if you are looking for an arrive and drive motorsport experience, this is by far the best bang for your buck. No question about it. And I cannot wait to get back into the seat of the buggy.
We're up early and itching to get moving. Our route today will be a mix of all sorts of different types of off-road driving. This means water crossings, rocky climbs, tight corners overlooking sheer drops. And eventually, a return to the coast.
How do you feel?
Dusty. It's fun. Push these cars, you get more comfortable, and then you push harder and harder up to a point where you come up to a sharp corner and you're like, I'm going to slow down, I'm going to slow back down again. It's awesome because we're seeing different terrain on the way back out to the coast, rockier, slipperier. It's cool. I'm tired, I'm still processing, but I'm very excited to get back in the buggy at the same time. It's so much fun.
I feel like we still have work to do. Got to get back to Heart Ensenada and get a few more shots on the way and just keep driving these things. So that's it. That's it. This is the end of our journey. This is the Wide Open Baja shop in Ensenada. This is an example of what they build here. This is a completely built in-house tube frame chassis. They bend the metal themselves. They put the pedals in here. They do all the electronics. Over there behind Josh shooting, there are fresh Subaru engines ready to go into these things. Then they're going to slap on the suspension. We've got fresh control arms here. It's amazing. They do. The level of what they supply is excellent, from the car itself to the actual adventure out there in Baja. You can't go and experience anything like that anywhere else. It's amazing that this is a place where people come from all over the world to race and beat the hell out of cars, and we just did it too, and you can do it too. That is the most amazing part, and you're gonna have a damn fun time doing it. And at the end of every day, they have a beer ready. They're smiling. I already had mine. I might have had 2 of them. I might go in for a 3rd, and then I need to get home, back over the border, shower off the Baja dust, so that I'm only left with memories and not permanently painted Baja dusty skin. Maybe that wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. Really cool place. Thanks. F1. Josh will disagree because he's riding mostly right seat, and it's difficult to be the passenger. It is much more fun to be the driver. I let him drive a little bit. I'll let him drive a little bit more tomorrow, but that's just kind of the way it goes. But for now, we're gonna have a nice evening at Mike's Sky Ranch, and wake up nice and early to some delicious breakfast, which will have more tortillas. I'm not getting enough tortillas on this trip, which is fine. I love tortillas. And we vamonos for the coast. Whoa. It's dusty as fuck out here. It's awesome. It's bumpy as shit. These tires are eating it all up. It just continues to be fun and entertaining and fantastic, and you should all spend your money and come down here and do this because it's great. Even though I look like shit right now, I'm having an awesome time. You help out?
No, I'm good.
How the fuck do you land in the middle of the road and smash my GoPro? That's a piece. Oh, there it is. Oh. Yeah, cool. Your jump didn't even fucking look cool, Jeff. All right, Jeff, we're at a fuel stop. You broke a GoPro. What's going on?
I put it somewhere where I didn't think I'd hit it and I wouldn't jump that far. And then I did. So this is kind of like a really shitty trophy.